Welcome to Yoga Explained, a series to help you learn yoga from the beginning, because when you learn to do the poses well, it's going to help keep you safer and you're going to get so much more out of your practice. I have a playlist linked down below with all of the videos that are part of this series, and you also may want to get on the email list for this series because I share lots more tips, tricks, and resources for you. Hey, my name is Laura. I've been a yoga educator for almost 35 years now, and I love to teach beginners. I love to introduce people to yoga. In this practice, we are going to revisit standing poses, and we're especially going to talk about the energy or the feeling that you want to be getting out of these poses. So if you're ready, all you're going to need for today's practice is your yoga block. I'll meet you on the yoga mat. So we're going to begin in Tadasana or mountain pose. We've already talked about how you want to have your feet hip width apart. And then feel as if you're moving down through the floor as you get really long. We're going to add on today. So the other thing I want you to realize with your feet is that nobody, this is going to blow your mind, is balanced. When they're standing centered like this, nobody has the same amount of weight on the right leg as the left leg. You're not splitting your weight 50-50. I know that's just bizarre. Nobody does. Everybody has a side they put more weight into just because of the imbalances in the body. You cross your legs the same way every time. You carry your purse or your backpack the same way every time. It creates imbalances in the body. So knowing you're not balanced, what I want you to do is rock side to side just a little and see if you can feel. Sometimes you can feel like, oh yeah, this is the side I usually carry more weight on. I know because it feels weird when the weight goes to the side where I don't put more weight on. I carry my weight in my left foot. So when I go over to the right, it feels weird. And then you're just going to slow the rocking to find, I'm going to say your center. It still won't be perfect, but it'll be more perfect, right? Feel the feet move down through the floor now as you get really long. And the second piece we're going to add is to rotate your arms open from the upper arms. So you're feeling this broadening across your collarbones. Feel your shoulder blades draw together. And if you can hold that without too much strain, I don't want you working hard, let the arms relax, but still feel that expansion across your heart. And then just take a moment, feel that. Feel the strength you feel. It's so different, isn't it, than the way you usually stand? Feel strong. It helps open your heart, the energy of your heart. So good. So, like I mentioned in the intro, we're going to talk about standing poses, and in particular, two different kinds. So, the warrior poses, we've done 1 and 2, warrior 1 and 2, help you build strength and courage. They help you go, yeah, I got this. I can do this. They build your self-esteem. They build your confidence. They're really amazing. The warrior in the term warrior is feeling strong or finding your warrior strength over your fears. So what I want to do is we're first going to do those poses, and then we're going to compare and contrast two different ones. Step your feet apart. Remember, you want to go as far apart as you're comfortable going. It's okay to have a chair if you need it for balance. Get long through the body. And we haven't talked about bringing the arms up. I mentioned earlier that there's a way to bring the arms up that helps the shoulders feel better. And it also builds the strength that we want to create here. So I want you to first feel your feet move down through the ground just like we did in Tadasana and get really long so your legs are strong here. Then bring your arms forward and up and out. You want to feel like a volcano where you're just erupting, and then bring those arms out to the side, shoulders down, and you're just feeling this strength in this pose. And then keep those shoulders down, the heart wide as you turn your palms down. Now, if there's any pain in the shoulders, I want you to come down. All right? Turn your feet to the right. Left foot in just a bit, right foot out 90 degrees. Heel the front foot lines up with the arch of the back. I want you to watch your knee as you bend it. Make sure it points toward the toes. You can see the big toe on the inside of your knee. Feel that openness across your heart. And then take your gaze across the fingertips of the hand. Peek down, make sure that knee is still pressing back, that it's not dropping in. And then come back out, arms come down, turn the feet through the front, and we'll go right over to the other side. So again, arms come up and out, palms are up. And keep that openness as you turn your palms forward and down. Turn your back foot in a little, front foot turns out 90 degrees. Feel that openness across your heart. Watch your knee as you bend it, make sure it tracks toward the toes the whole way. Now, ultimately, you may never get here, and that's okay. Your pose is where your pose is. But where you're headed theoretically is getting the thigh parallel to the floor and the knee at 90 degrees. So this is like as far apart as you want your feet eventually. But it's okay if you are here, right? Like let your pose be where your pose is. Come on out, arms come down, turn the feet to the front and step your feet back together. And just take a breath. Feel your body. Can you feel that inner cup of coffee? Right? Whew. And warrior one is similar. Let's do warrior one. Step your feet apart. Now for this one, remember you're going to turn your back foot in, not quite as far. Turn the right foot out and open it up slightly so you're aligned heel to heel. And then your shoulders will be angled, squared with the hips, which are at an angle. Bring the arms forward and up and overhead. You can feel that volcano energy. Just feel it build like you're erupting. And then think of drawing the belly in, up, and around as you bend your knee. Any back pain, you're going to shift forward. If you still have pain, bring those hands down. Back leg is really straight. Press through that heel. And then come on up. Arms come down. Turn the feet to the front. Make the feet parallel. So always start from a squared place. And now we'll go the other way. Turn your back foot in just a little. Front foot turns fully out, 90 degrees. Heel lines up with the heel of the back foot. Okay? Hips and shoulders are square at an angle. Arms come up, draw the belly in, lift tall, turn toward your front leg as you bend the knee and move into your pose. Breathe. And again, if you can go further, where you're ultimately headed, if you can, if it's okay for your body, is to get that thigh parallel to the floor. But it is okay if your pose is back here. Come on out, arms come down, turn the feet to the front, step your feet back together. Take a breath, feel your body. Little cup of coffee-ish, huh? Can you feel it? That's why we do these poses, right? If you want to build your courage and your confidence, you definitely want to bring these poses into your practice. Now, we're going to counter that with forward folds. So forward folds in general are about being present and bringing yourself into the present. They're about feeling gratitude and feeling quiet. Now the key to forward folds, let's do them safely, is you fold from the hip hinge, not from the spine. This is really bad for your spine because when you get here, you're basically dangling from a couple of vertebrae back there and your discs like to bulge to the back. So this can exacerbate spinal challenges. So instead what I want you to do, and I want you to do this with me, have your feet in Tadasana, bend your knees, hands at the hip hinge, roll the shoulders back and down and squeeze your elbows back. This helps keep your spine long. And fold just from the hip hinge. Feel that? That's the feeling you want to get used to, and I will tell you, it can take a long time. Sometimes it helps just to see yourself in the mirror to see where you are folding. Okay, so the first fold we're going to do is Uttanasana, which is standing forward fold. I want you to grab your block, put it in front, feet are hip width, and we're going to do it with a slight bend. I usually recommend people do it with a slight bend. This does take the pressure off the back especially if you have any lower back issues. If you have any bulging disc issues, then let pain be your guide. Okay, definitely keep your knees bent, and if you start to hurt, come out. Roll the shoulders back and down, elbows come back, come right from the hip hinge, coming down. And then you can bend the knees if you need to get to the block. Spine is long. And then bring your hands back to the hip hinge, roll the shoulders back and down, and scoop up with the heart. And come all the way up. So, quick word for those of you who are really flexible and who have seen people who are more flexible do this pose. What we're doing here is folding we're letting the pelvis come forward, okay? We're moving from the hip hinge, not from the spine. At the very end, and I'm gonna do it with bent knees because I don't have super flexible hamstrings. At the very end, once your body is beyond 90 degrees, you can then round down because you're no longer dangling from a vertebrae. Like if you're up here, and you can see the difference, right? Versus here. So I just want to share that. Most people don't have that flexibility, but just in case you do, or you see someone else do it, you know that it's okay for them. All right? So that's Uttanasana. We also have Prasarita Padottanasana. So this one you're going to do with your feet apart. Have your block in front of you. And again, feet go as far as you can comfortably. Hands are at the hip hinge. Roll the shoulders back and down, squeeze those elbows together. Bend your knees, give yourself a little soft knee. Come forward from the hip hinge. And then you can take your hands down to the block, or if you can reach the floor, go for the floor. Feel that fold. And then come back up, hands on the hip hinge. Roll the shoulders back and down and come all the way back up. And then step your feet back in and take a breath. Notice how you feel. Now, you might feel a little wired because that was new and you were learning something new. But as you get more accustomed to forward folds, you'll feel calmer. It's quieter for your energy. It's less stimulating than that warrior series is. Feel your body. We have one more standing forward fold. It's called Parsvottanasana. Separate your feet. Give yourself a nice wide stance, but not as wide as for warrior. Okay, you're coming in a little closer for this one. Turn your back foot in really far. So now we're going a little bit further than we did for our other poses. So we did 20 degrees for warrior one, 30 degrees for all those others, and then now we're going more like 45 degrees or 50. Turn your front foot out and open the foot out to the side quite a bit. So now you want space between the feet. You're not even lined up heel to heel. If you were on a road with double yellow solid lines, you'd have one heel on one line and the other heel on the other. And you're going to square your shoulders off. Back leg is really straight. Press through that heel. Hands to the hip hinge. Roll the shoulders back and down and squeeze your elbows behind you again. So you're feeling a squeeze between your shoulder blades. Come forward right from the hip hinge. Keep pressing through your back heel, squeezing your elbows toward each other as you come forward. And breathe. And then come back up. Turn the feet through the front, release the arms, come back through center, and we'll go the other way. Right foot in, left foot out. Open your stance. Have space between your feet. This becomes a bit of a balance pose when you're turned. And if your feet are aligned, first of all, it's hard on your sacroiliac joint back here in the back of the pelvis. And it's also really hard to balance. So you want to give yourself some space between the feet to make it easier. Hands on the hips, you're going to squeeze those shoulder blades behind you. Press through your back heel, straightening that back leg. That back leg will want to collapse. So you're extending it as you lift tall. And then come forward right from the hip hinge. Squeeze those elbows back. Keep pressing through your heel. And you're coming right from the hip hinge. Right from the top of the thighs, not through your spine. And then come on up. Turn your feet to the front, step your feet back together, and take a breath. Notice how you feel. We're going to end today's class in Ragdoll, and Ragdoll is a really nice release for the back, and it's very quieting for the body. I will also add that I often see people doing this incorrectly, so I want to make sure I keep you all safe. So what I often see are people just hanging like so. You already know how I feel about hanging. It's not good for your spine. So this is what you're going to do instead. You're going to bend the knees, bring your elbows to your thighs. Go ahead and do it with me. And then release down. So let your back muscles move up toward your head. This is this lovely traction almost for the tension in your back. You're going to let it move up toward your head, letting the weight of your head pull those muscles, feeling your breath in your back body. And then you can stay here, or if you want to go to the next level, you're going to take your fingertips to the floor. Belly is still resting on the thighs, letting your head release. And again, you can stay here or grab your elbows so the weight of your arms starts to pull even more. I find as I hold this, I just keep releasing. But I won't have you hold this for long. It can be intense that first time. So take your hands to your knees and very slowly round up. All the way up. Tuck your chin in. Just come up one vertebrae at a time, supporting yourself on your thighs. And then once you're up, roll your shoulders back and down. All right. Take a breath. How do you feel? And again, it's that feeling I want you to use to bring you back to your mat again and again. Thanks for joining me. Remember to check out the playlist below if you want to see more of the videos. This one is video number 4. And there are obviously 1, 2, and 3 if you haven't seen those. And also to get on the email list for this series so you can get even more. We'll see you in the next video.